Good morning, everyone. I appreciate my previous speakers because they have made my work more easy. I'm talking about body image, self-esteem, and gender norms of young adolescents in primary schools in southwestern Uganda. This is a project being run by a collaboration between Belgian universities, Ghent and VUB, Bara University of Science and Technology, and Uganda Matters University in Uganda, and is sponsored by Villiers. And the project code name is Who Am I? Young Adolescent Project that promotes comprehensive sexuality education in schools. So, sexual health is defined as a state of physical, mental, and social well-being in relation to sexuality. This is a WHO definition that emphasizes, that emphasizes the positive and respectful approach to sexuality. But what is positive and respectful approach? This is hardly studied, and as Christine elaborated, most studies describe association with risky behavior and report less on positive experiences. So a few studies describe association with risky behavior and less positive experiences with lower scores on sexual well-being, which I will explain. Measurement of positive aspects of sexuality are not clearly understood and subsequently underreported. So the objectives were to assess the sexual well-being of young adolescents in Uganda, looking at aspects of body image, self-esteem, and gender equitable norms, and to describe the associations between the social demographic characteristics and sexual well-being, and also to describe the association between sexual risky behavior and sexual well-being. So the study was conducted in the southwestern region in Uganda among 33 primary schools, and is baseline survey data of a cluster randomized trial that is evaluating the effectiveness of comprehensive sexuality education. The sample size was 1,100 students. It was estimated that 846 to detect a 10% difference in arms after 1 year of intervention, and powered at 90%, and we made adjustments of 20% for any dropouts, and we came up with a final sample size. We obtained ethical approval from the local institution at Bara University and also Ghent, and also obtained consent from the school heads, the parents, and assent from the pupils, and also had a psychiatrist whom could refer cases of sexual violence in case they were established. Our inclusion criteria were adolescents between 10 to 14 years in primary 5 and 6, and we used standardized questionnaires which were administered by trained research assistants, and we selected participants using systematic sampling on a class list. So the variables we assessed were self-esteem using the existing score of Rosenberg, and here it's a self-assessment score on how you feel about yourself, important qualities about you, or we use questions like, I feel I'm useless, I feel I'm an important person, I have achieved according to my peers. And then the body esteem score, we use the body image states score that also evaluates your self-assessment on your body size, weight, and beauty. And then the gender equality norm score, we used the attitudes towards women scale for adolescents. Among this score, we used a few items of each score, and our Kronberg alpha for all of them was below 0.7, but 0.6 has been reported to be acceptable in explorative research. And these were the ranges we came up with and the arbitrary cutoffs for a low or high score.
Sorry, Elizabeth, can I just intervene because I have a technical message for a car that is being towed away at the moment. So if somebody has a car, sorry? Might be towed away. A Citroën with number plate 705BUJ. If it's one of yours, run outside. Sorry for this.
Okay, sorry. Seems the owner has identified this. I hope it won't be towed away. So from the baseline characteristics, we note that the mean age was 12 years and most were female, 58%. 80% were from the rural area. Actually, in Uganda, most of the population, over 80%, is in the rural area, so this is representative. And from the socioeconomic score, we can see that the mean score was 8 out of the expected 25, so more or less low economic score. And then when we look at the major outcomes, all the sexually active consisted of 7.5% of the entire population. And among these, those who did not use condoms, we called them those with risky sexual behavior. They were 6.8%. And from the scores that I've described, you can see that there were relatively high levels of body image and self-esteem score. And the gender equity norm score was more or less average. Then we looked at multivariate logistic regression to assess associations between the different scores. So these are 3 multivariate regressions. So when we look at body image versus the social demographic variables, we see that gender and higher education level are associated positively with higher body image scores. And when we look at gender norm equity, we see the lower the age, then the higher the gender equity norm score. So orange is for a negative association and green is for a positive association. And females of and higher economic status was positively associated with higher norm score. And when we look at esteem, comparing urban and rural location, we find the adolescents in the urban area had a lower esteem compared to those in the rural. And the higher education status also improved the self-esteem score. Then when we look at the major aspects of sexual well-being with risky sexual behavior, we found in the first multivariate regression that gender norms, the higher the gender norm score, the lower the risk for sexual risky behavior. But when we made adjustments for the social demographics, this association disappears. So how can we conclude? So we have noted that in this young population, there are high scores for self-esteem and body image compared to other studies. We see that gender equity norms reduce with increasing age. So when they are younger, they are more receptive of gender equality. Then when they grow older, it reduces. And then we see that different social demographic characteristics affect the different areas of sexual well-being differently. So implications from this survey, sexuality education should focus on gender norms for young adolescents, because we see as they grow older, their norms will change to less equitable norms. And we emphasize that this is an explorative study for young adolescent population. So we call upon policymakers to advocate for further research on causal relationships between sexual well-being and sexual behavior for young adolescents. I appreciate the contribution of my promoter, Christine Jensen, and Olivier Degon, and all the researchers in this study, and also Villiers for the scholarship. Thank you.